Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Throws Custom T-shirts and accessories, sponsored by the Ice Shaker, and also sponsored by Make It Mac. We've got a very long. Me and Derm are talking in the pre-show. We've got a lot of questions that we've got to answer. No more running away from me. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, why did he cancel Tuesday?" No, we're here. We're here Thursday. No more running. So we'll get to the Cowboys in a second. We'll get to Ben Steelers. We'll get to all the wild card recap. We'll get into all those games. Of course, we're going to talk about the Celtics, 21-0 at home. Ben just reminded me of that. I mean, how could I forget that? They've been killing it. 21-0. Same thing. They've just been unbelievable at home. We'll talk about that huge trade, or maybe some might not call it huge, but Pascal Siakam going to the Indiana Pacers. We took it to Twitter, see what you guys wanted to think about that, and Instagram, and even Facebook. We got a little poll, so we'll give you some of those results later. We will also dive into this NFL Divisional Round. We'll give you our picks, our analysis, all that stuff, all that jazz later. We've got a Bruins game, huge Bruins Avalanche game going on right about now. Puck drop should be any minute now. We will give you live results, live recap throughout the show, and as always, we'll keep up with you guys in the comments. But Ben, two teams go down. The Patriots fans went down 2 weeks ago. The Dallas Cowboys follow last week, and the Steelers follow as well. Just an epic collapse of a season, Ben. And are we doing this now? Are we gonna get this out of the way now? We're doing it now. All right.
I'm sure people will, once people come in and out, I'm sure they'll get their comments in, but we can start with it.
Yeah, we'll start. You know what? I gotta share.
We can give them. We can give it. Yeah, we can give Josh. I've been giving the Cowboys their due the whole season. I was mentioning that to Josh before the show as well. So might as well start with them. I'm on the Cowboys. I wasn't totally on the bandwagon, but I've been supporting them all year. I thought they'd go a lot further. I was shocked. I was shocked with the manner. I didn't realize how good Aaron Jones was against them too. I mean, before that game, I think he averages the most yards per game. The minimum, 3 games played against the Cowboys. He's the average the most all time. I think it was 123.3, just ahead of some Hall of Famers. He's got 6 total touchdowns against them. 3 before that game. I think that keyword's just the manner, Josh. I just wasn't expecting. I know everyone said they, Packers good, whatever. I know Jimmy was on them. A lot of people taking them. Jordan Love. I mean, yeah, he showed you some glimpses in the season, but he didn't show me that. I had never seen a performance like that from him. I kind of just went berserk. But I just wasn't expecting the Cowboys get beat. I mean, sort of I hate to correlate the Steelers in it too, but I mean, much like the Steelers game. Just the guy didn't see the Cowboys winning at all. They just didn't have any point in the game where you thought they would win, where they thought they were ahead. It was just strange. I mean, I thought the Cowboys at least put up a little bigger of a fight, but that Savage pick 6. It's just, where do you start from there? Dak's been my guy. Shout out to Dak helping me win a league. I didn't want to give him all the credit in the world. Shout out to Keenan Allen, Deebo Samuel, but I thought he put up a better performance to that, and he sort of padded the stats late. And I still look at that game as 48-16. I'm sorry to Josh and Cowboys Nation. I know it's 48-32, but those are some garbage time touchdowns. I look at that as a beatdown. It was just the manner, Josh. It was strange. I thought this Cowboys team would put up a better fight, and I'm just kind of shocked the Packers did all that. People high on them, but you can't tell me Jordan Love had a performance like that during the season. I'd never seen it from him. He just turned it on. And now people are talking and put him in that sort of category. I think we need a halt. And I need to see how he plays in this game. But Packers just shocked me, and Cowboys did too, Josh. So I'll give you the floor now, since I was trying to do it the best I can, try to get rid of the time on it. But I think everyone wants to hear from Josh on this. I just died on the Cowboys bandwagon too. It's just not a good feeling. I normally don't do it, but not a good feeling.
I just want to say appreciate you, Bueller, for the comment. And
there we go.
There's just I'm going to start it off with a saying I have just beaten to the ground. I say it all the time recently, and everybody's getting on aggravated with me about it. I'm so flustered with my words. I'm actually kind of glad that we had the show Thursday because I think I'm finally now at the point where I've processed it like almost fully. I don't think it's going to be one of those things where it's going to take a little bit of time. As crazy as that sounds, because it's the same song and dance, and there's that phrase that I've used, but it's the same song and dance. It's the same crashing halt as James has mentioned, and all the Cowboys haters come on and they say, it's the same thing every year. It's just a different ending. The same way they lost to the Niners, two similar ways, but it still feels different. Back to the Green Bay, 2014, the Dez dropped it. It still feels a little different.
You didn't drop it. Don't worry, you didn't drop it.
Yeah, that catch thing, that was weird. And then Jared Cook on the sidelines, Dak Prescott's rookie year, it still felt a little different because they had this comeback and they came all the way back, but it just wasn't enough. The rookie year, it still felt different, even though it's always kind of the same ending. They still can't get to the NFC Championship game. It still just feels different. But this year, Ben, was just different, man. I came out confident. I mean, while the game was going on, I said to everyone I was watching the game with, I said, before the game started, I said, the Packers are going to come out, they're going to score early, Dallas will settle in. I had this weird feeling. I really did. Packers go up 7. I'm sitting there, I'm like, it's okay, I'm not that worried. I will say, I saw a look on Dak Prescott's face that was like, oh shit, here we go again. I saw it, but I still was like, we're down 7. It's not that bad. We punt the ball. 3-0, or not 3-0. I think we get that first down, or we get a nice play. Dak runs it. CeeDee Lamb has like a big drop though. We got a punt. Okay, 7-0. Then we go down, we go down 14-0. They drive all the way down. Packers only punted 2 times in the game. We're down 14-0. In that very moment, I'm still thinking, Ben, I still don't think this is over. Like I still think we have a chance here. Go down 14-0, drive all the way down. Dak throws a pick, or they punt. I can't even remember at this point. But again, moral of the story: we were down 20-0, and it still didn't feel real. Like I still was like, I still think we can win this game. We get ball at half. Like this team needs to wake up a little bit. And Ben, they never woke up. It was 27-7 at half. They got a touchdown late at the end, and that almost felt like garbage time as well. They got the ball rolling way too late. I mean, it was a lot of garbage time yards. People saying Dak Prescott threw for 400. CeeDee Lamb went over 100. Pollard looked decent in the second half. I mean, they just, from the very get-go, Ben, they were out-schemed, out-coached, out-gritted, out-hearted. I mean, just no heart. All around. I mean, it was just the same thing. The Green Bay Packers came right into Arlington, right into AT&T Stadium, and they said, we're going to run the ball down the throat. We're going to do play-action passes. Our offensive line's going to be better. Our kick returns are going to be better. Our scheming's going to be better. Our everything. And that they were right. I mean, they are one of the youngest teams in the National Football League, and they didn't look like it come this past week. We looked like one of the youngest teams. And one of the most frustrating parts about it, Ben, was we didn't even commit that many penalties. We committed some in some major moments. The Sam Williams one, running into the guy, they give them better field position. Stuff like that hurts. But the bigger question marks were all these big players. As you mentioned, Dak Prescott, 2 interceptions. He could have had 3 or 4 interceptions. James mentioned that point to me as well. You look at Micah Parsons. No sacks. 3 hurries in the game. We can... What else? Stephon Gilmore, Deron Bland, shoot apart. That zone defense. I could take us... We could talk about this for a whole hour. I'm going to try and do this as quickly as I can. But just everything that I'm talking about, they just were lost. Completely lost. McCarthy was lost. Dan Quinn was lost. I've had enough of him. I'm done with that. It was fun beating up on some bad teams during the regular season. Same with McCarthy. Same with the whole Dallas Cowboys organization. But at some point, they have to make some changes. Al Richards, hopefully they promote him as the new defensive coordinator. I think Dan Quinn's gone. He already had his foot out the door. Mike McCarthy. I mean, I'm not stunned that he keeps his position. I just ride it out this year. I mean, it's to the point, Ben, where it's like, I mean, we're in a tough situation with all this talent. I mean, I never thought. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's the same Cowboys team. I could talk to you guys till I'm blue in the face till 8 p.m. about the same stuff, and it comes down to the same stuff. You know, is Dak playoff ready? Is this Cowboys team playoff ready? Is Jerry Jones tough enough on them? Do they have enough leadership? Can Mike McCarthy lead a team without Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre? It's all the same question marks. It's the same thing. And I'm going to be the first one to say this. In a very long time, this hasn't been come up. It's Tony Romo reincarnated all over again. I was at work today and I got this little notification, and it is their stats and their playoff records are identical. Both 2-4, both had hot, sensational starts, and then they just, they fan out. They have their moments, but then the bright lights get a little too bright, and then we get lost. A lot of question marks. Like I said, I'm still trying to process things. As what we know right now, Mike McCarthy's going to be Dak. Dak Prescott's definitely going to be back. Can't trade him. He's got a no-trade clause. Nor do I want to trade him. I mean, I still have faith in him. I do. It's tough, but it's the whole team. I'm really just running dry on Ben. And I'm just going to finish it with this. It's the same song and dance with this team.
That was perfect, John. I just wanted to pull up the exact scoring summary for everything, and that just because I did forget it was a little, like I said, it was a little far behind. It was like last week, so I did forget some of the scoring drive. But yeah, that savage interception that put it up 27-0, and that was pretty rough. I think that was a real backbreaker for me. That's when, as Josh was sort of illuminating right there, it didn't feel real. At 21-0, yeah, 20-0, I should say. I was thinking, hey, Cowboys going to come back, get the ball at half. Let's try this, have these guys score before halftime, get the ball back, one possession game. You totally forget the first quarter, but then you get that pick six. And I mean, Dak, I've been watching him all year. Like I keep mentioning, my fantasy quarterback, but I just don't know what he was thrown to there. I don't know what he was doing. And Josh mentioned that the CD drop. But Dak really wasn't connecting with him. I don't know what was up with that connection in the first quarter. Commentators were even making some obviously comments on it, but he just missed him on some easy throws I've seen him make all year, and they just look strange. It just didn't look like they were there. So that's why I wanted to let Josh get out there, and I wanted to get sort of this, scoring summary. They did score late and touchdown the Cowboys, as Josh mentioned, 27-7. Felt like I think there was a good use right there. The garbage time kind of felt like, all right, this is all right, but it was just strange. It was just strange from the Cowboys. As Josh mentioned, they lost in various different ways, but they've always felt like they've been in it. From the Dez catch to the Jared Cook to that 49ers one really wasn't too in it, but I don't know, something felt even different about this one. Obviously the 49ers were just a different beast. They were expected to put up a fight against this Cowboys team. They were the favorites, honestly, 49ers. And, this Packers team, young, whatever. But, the Cowboys were expected to handle business, and they didn't. So that's just, as Josh sort of put out through there, it was just felt different. Just a different feel. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good for the Cowboys fans. And just looking at some of this, the Cowboys doing most of the scoring in the fourth quarter. It's the garbage time. So, Dak had some good stats. CD had some good stats. Pollard, I don't really know how they said Pollard looked decent. I didn't really see Pollard do much. But I mean, Dak and CD showed up. They got the stats when they needed to. I mean, they can obviously put it together. But it was just strange to see from the Cowboys team that just has more talent than this Packers team right now. Listen, I know people saying, they take Jordan Love over Dak. I might hold off on that. Maybe just because of the age, I might do it. If I'm a GM, I might give it a little more consideration. But I think Dak's still better at the moment. I think Dak will be better for a couple more years to come. But I think people are going a little crazy with this Packers. It's going to be a big test, Josh, against the 49ers right now. It's going to be a big test to see if this Packers team's legit or if they just got lucky with, the Cowboys shooting themselves in the foot. sorry to keep pouring it on to Josh and them. We'll get to the Steelers in a sec. We'll get to their own. Trust me, they
Yeah.
had as many mistakes, if not more, in their game, but it did sort of cushion the blow for the Steelers loss. Seeing the Eagles lose too, seeing
Yeah.
the Eagles
A little
lose in
bit.
that similar fashion. We can get to them as well. Talk about a collapse over there. I don't know who's worse, the Cowboys or the Eagles. Maybe we get some comments going for that one, but it's a toss up. I mean, listen, I thought the Eagles fans be happy with the Cowboys results, but it looked even worse at some points in the games. I mean, talk about tackling. I mean, I just don't even know on that Trey Palmer touchdown. So, hey, as Michael pointing out, yeah, I mean, hey, Josh has been a diehard Cowboys fan, so he's gonna hit. They're gonna, they're gonna suffer through these losses. He'll bounce back. They always do. But just to cap it off, Josh, yeah, this is a tough one. This is a tough one.
Well, we'll get to some of those other ones. Just nutshell, everything. Ben said it perfectly. They have the talent. It's just when are they going to do it? We don't know. As Nelson mentioned, Michael mentioned too. I'm a diehard fan for a while. I don't know. Like I don't know. I think I've officially. It has to be done with me. Like, oh, it's a guarantee. We're gonna win in the play. Like, this is our year. That's done for me. You won't hear that again. On week-to-week basis in the regular season, that's fine. But you will never hear me be super confident in a playoff game. It won't happen ever again. I don't care if the next big thing came in and was a quarterback with this Cowboys team and it felt different. I'm not going to be overly confident about anything. I have to see it to believe it. And same with everything coming out of that. Just have to see it to believe it. We will revisit this. We got plenty of off season. We're going to get into the Pats. We'll get into the Cowboys. Gerard Mayo, the new hire there. I mean, we didn't talk about that. Last week, we were kind of flaunting around with the Mike Vrabel and maybe Bill Belichick stays. But they got Mayo. And yeah, I mean, as Ben mentioned, the Eagles go down. The Rams go down in the barn burner. Lions getting their first playoff win. Big win for them.
Lions.
Chiefs, they were able to hurdle their way outside of Kansas City. I mean, Tua, that's another big question there too. Mike McDaniels. Tua, I mean, can these guys play in the cold? Can these guys win big games? I mean, we talked about the Cowboys too. I mean, there's different scenarios there, but same thing with it's similar with Miami. I mean, they haven't really beaten any legitimate teams this year. They finally go into Kansas City, and they got kind of whooped. Texans, are they legit? We'll talk about them a little bit later, and of course, Buffalo Bills beating up on the Steelers there. But I'm not. I'm going to say it quick. Ben went quick. Ben went first for the Cowboys. I'll go first for the Steelers. I'm not overreacting. I mean, you made the playoffs. I know earlier in the summer we thought they were going to be a little bit better. I think overall, it's still the same question mark with the quarterback. Mason Rudolph did a pretty good job filling in there. I mean, he did better than most of the options that they had. The only real question marks is Kenny Pickett. I mean, looking at this game, this was what we expected to happen. The Bills, they're all in. They put all their chips in for a Super Bowl. It's do or die soon. This is their year, one of their years to really make that deep run. Steelers, on the other hand, made it into the dance. Things got a little interesting. They were kind of battered. No T.J. Watt. Minka Fitzpatrick's banged up. Najee Harris finally starting to slowly get together. Same with Jaylen Warren as well. But it was just a tough game after a snowstorm. They go into Buffalo. It got postponed. It just didn't feel like it was the Steelers from the get-go. Different feeling from the Steelers to the Packers as well, Ben. They look like they found their quarterback. They've got plenty of weapons. Steelers, on the other hand, they're still Deontay, these George Pickens. I'm still not sold on them. Weird. It's different. I don't know. It's just I don't think that they were ready for that moment. And I think the biggest question mark for the Steelers moving forward is their quarterback, Ben. When they find that quarterback, they'll be okay. Because they're going to be good defensively. But offensively, it all runs through the quarterback. And we saw this weekend, the Bills just had the better quarterback.
Yeah, just a lot of self-inflicted wounds, too. Obviously, the George Pickens fumble. Mason Rudolph throwing that pick in the end zone. That was a big backbreaker. That was a tough one, driving all the way down to the field, down 21-0, just thinking, hey, let's get on the board. Then throwing that pick. It was a sloppy game, Josh. And like we said, listen, I didn't expect to win, it was there. I mean, it was there. It was a one possession game in the fourth. And then, as the key word I just mentioned, their self-inflicted wounds. You get two penalties. Miles Jack, the hold on Kincaid, which thank God it wasn't pass interference. But he's throwing that ball out of he's just throwing that ball away. I don't know why he's tugging on him. And then the late hit from him as well. That was kind of a questionable call, but you can't just, you got to know this league now. You got to know they're protecting the quarterbacks. Just don't leave that hit. Just don't even risk it. I know it was Josh Allen. I know he kind of sort of slid on fake to slide like Kenny Pickett did in college for that 52-yard run that he had on us, which is pretty embarrassing, Josh. That was a pretty embarrassing play to watch. Another thing, self-inflicted wounds of tackling. I mean, even Minka missing that last tackle on the Shakir touchdown. We just weren't going to win that one, Josh. It wasn't set in the stars. Everything went wrong for us. Penalties, listen, I know I keep saying self-inflicted, but some of the, I'll do a little Steelers fan complaining. I don't know, some of those calls, I saw Mason Rudolph getting hit a little. I don't know, Josh. I saw, listen, obviously we wouldn't have won, but I mean, on that hit from Miles Jack, I know you can't do it, the one I just mentioned, but I saw Mason Rudolph slide and kind of get hit the same exact way, but Josh Allen, you got the home crowd, we rile it up. You're going to get that call every time. And that's where it comes in from Miles Jack. You got to be smarter than that. We just finally got in a one possession game. Just try to keep this game close. You can't be just doing those stupid penalties. Like I said, do I totally agree? No, but you gotta play smarter than that in today's game. So I'm just glad it wasn't 21-0 too. I mentioned this, Josh, before the show too. The 21-0 was pretty bad. I'm just glad we hung in there. I was proud of the team, Josh. I was proud of them. Stay competitive. One possession game in the fourth. Just they hung around, but really needed that snowstorm game. I think we really needed that snowstorm game, neutralize Josh Allen. Because without TJ Watt, nobody got to him. He was just sitting in that pocket the whole game. I think he averaged like 2.37 seconds per snap. He was hanging around there. We had no pass rush. And even when we did, Patrick Peterson just getting juked. That was just embarrassing for Patrick Peterson. Get that guy off this team as well. He just needs to go. I don't know what kind of veteran leadership he's doing, but he needs to get out of here as well. It was just rough. Obviously mentioned Pickens fumble. We just weren't there, Josh. The Bills were a better team. We're gonna obviously play the Chiefs, but I was just proud of the team and how we stayed competitive, just put up a fight. But yeah, the quarterback, they've already announced sort of Kenny Pickett's already the quarterback number one. We'll have a competition, obviously, in the training camp and stuff, but I'm kind of intrigued. I don't know. If someone's there in the draft, Josh, I wouldn't mind taking a shot at anybody in the draft, to be honest, right now. But Mason did a valiant effort at the end. I appreciate Mason. Hey, let's see what he can do going forward. Let's see if that was just kind of a fluke like Duck Hodges at the end. So I'm excited for the quarterback competition. Yeah, exactly. I'm excited, not really, but I'm open to anybody in the draft as well. But hey, good season from both Cowboys and Steelers. Just kind of sad to see it end as always, but a little worse for Josh's Cowboys.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you guys. I mean, before the season, we expected to make playoffs, maybe win one and done. I mean, the Steelers did pretty much what was expected. I mean, with the injuries and the Kenny Pickett not. I mean, it was kind of expected. Totally different expectations. So that's just not fair to compare. Cowboys, I mean, they're a joke. They're a disaster. But we've got Tony. We talked about. I mean, what do you think? What do you guys think of the Cowboys not making a change at head coach? I read somewhere, and this is just what I think, just in general. I read somewhere. Obviously, we know Dak Prescott's on his last year of his deal. A lot of people thinking, if he's going to get extended, it would have to be this offseason because you don't want him to hit the free agent market. That's one thing. Same with Mike McCarthy. I'm pretty sure this is the last year on his deal. I think that this is, and I know we've said this probably for the last 4 years, and I probably said this last year, but I think this is kind of like the do or die for McCarthy, like the last effort. I think the organization knew Bill Belichick wasn't going to come. I think Vrabel wasn't really what we wanted. I mean, I don't know. This is what they do. They stick with the same guys. Jerry Jones loves Mike McCarthy. He's got his hands in everything. I don't know. I kind of expected them not to make the change, and I don't want to see Dan Quinn back. I mean, I liked him a lot, but I'm done. That was the defense. It's everything. It was bad, but yeah, bad. Bruins up 2-0, by the way.
Hey, let's go Bruins. Let's go Bruins. And hey, Marianne, bring a nice comment. Yeah, I thought the Steelers hung around. Good game minus the first quarter. Agree with that. Agree with that. Was minus that first quarter. That first quarter was pretty ugly. And Josh just mentioned that. I just want to go back to Nelson's comments too. Yeah, the defense sucked. That was just going back to the Cowboys game. A lot of wide open, blown coverage. That was true. So I'm gonna go with Josh on that one. Back him up. Dan Quinn probably shouldn't be back. Kind of hindered his head coaching chances too. Everyone was looking at him as a hot candidate. I don't know if they're looking at him like that anymore. And to Tony's question, yeah, I mean, I don't know. If Bill's not going to come, I don't think I don't think the Cowboys should make a move. Like Josh said, let's just play it out, play the contract out. There's really nothing else you're going to do unless like a major player like that wants to come over there. Clearly doesn't. The Cowboys would have made that move. So yeah, if I'm sick with McCarthy, I forget what the stat they were throwing out all day. He's got the third best, regular season record. Cowboy, blah blah blah. He's a good regular season coach. Is sort of the main thing. I think third best ever, whatever. So it's something they were tossing around on every morning show. And that's a big stat they're defending him with. But yeah, that's not really the question with him. We know he's a good regular season coach. Can he win the postseason? So that kind of defeated the purpose. But I think as Josh mentioned too, just write out the contract. Let's see what he can do going forward. But if he can't do anything next year, then it's probably let's move on. Let's move on. Go in another direction. He's had enough chances. We've had enough teams with talent too. So yeah, last year, final chance.
100%,
Next year.
100%. I honestly think it might be the same for Dak. I mean, it's
Yeah.
something's got to give, dude. Like something's got to give. That's just yeah. I mean,
Wasn't ready to give Dak that, Josh. That's a good point. Yeah, something's got to give.
something's got to give. And whether they do the negotiations or not this offseason, you best believe the playoff record's going to come into play. Because there's a lot of talking and a lot of we'll see next week. We know we believe in ourselves and this and that. And Mike McCarthy saying, believe in us or whatever the hell he's saying. I have no idea. Buy in. Like, it's always a talking carousel. I'm sick of it. But moving forward here, the Celtics, 20-0 at home. Got a long comment. Oh, yeah, never mind. Celtics, 20-0 at home. They can't lose right now. They're firing on all cylinders. They beat up on Victor Wembanyama last night. This team is destined, Ben. 20-0, as I said, at home. And hey, if you get that number one seed, you get that nice playoff matchup there. You'll be playing 4 out of 7 games at home all the way. I like our chances right now, Ben. I know there was a huge, huge, huge trade that just happened. I think it's pretty big. But I don't know. I kind of want to see what Ben thinks about the 20-0, and then of course we can get into the big trade that has just happened.
Yeah. I believe 21-0, Josh. I think they were 20-0. I think they're 21-0 now. I'm pretty sure at home. I think they were at home. So I think the 21-0. Pretty sure. I thought Scal was saying that something last night. I'll double check that, but either way, 20-0, 21-0. I mean, undefeated. Just kind of crazy feat. Mike Gorman, undefeated so far. Shout out to him on that. But I mean, this team, yeah, no offense to Drew Carter, but Mike Gorman's the man. So this team's just playing out of their mind. I love this team. I love the camaraderie. This team's just bonding well, playing well. Drew Holiday, Derek White. I mean, everyone's just clicking right now. Tatum playing MVP levels. So I mean, Jaylen Brown's stop getting those turnovers in there, but I'm kind of excited about that trade, Josh Moore. I don't know that if I was a Pacers fan, I'd be pretty excited. I'm kind of surprised. I know we didn't get to it yet, but some of those poll results, I'm kind of surprised with them. Because I thought that'd be a good trade. I didn't even, I thought they'd have to give up Turner in that, but no, they didn't. They got Turner still. They got Siakam, Halliburton. I believe avoided that major injury. I know he kind of got hurt on one of the games, and I believe he avoided major injuries. So, I mean, that team's. I mean, they've given us problems. I think we're 2-2 against them. So, I mean, we're one of the top teams over there. And I think it's us and Philly. Obviously Milwaukee there too. Big Giants, but I mean, I think the Pacers can contend with them. I think they're 3-1 against the Bucks. So, I mean, they give the Bucks the most fits. They give us fits. Uh, so, I mean, I know people haven't been really sort of monitoring this trade, but I think this trade's a pretty big one. I think it throws the Pacers in real contention right now. I think the Pacers can really do some damage. Uh, am I scared of them? No. I mean, this team's clicking. The Celtics, I mean, we're just so deep right now. I love the way everyone's playing. I think, obviously Kristaps being healthy, just gonna knock on wood for that. Just gonna knock on wood for everyone being healthy. But when the Celtics team's fully healthy, uh, I think I don't know who's going to beat them. They're just playing out of their mind, especially if we can secure this home court advantage that's been so crucial for us. I'm big on this team, but the Pacers, don't sleep on them. I know people are sleeping on them a little just for the name, but I think they're legit, Josh, now, obviously, with this trade even more.
See, here's my thing, and I say it's a big
Doesn't like the
trade.
Pacers.
No, that's not true. I think the Pacers give us a hard time. They 100% have. They're one of those teams that, I mean, they're 23-17 right now. They're floating around. All they got to do is get in. Anything can happen. I remember years ago, people were kind of worried about them giving us a hard time. They've always kind of given us a hard time in matchups within the regular season. A team like the Pacers, I love this trade. You didn't give up too much. Bruce Brown, I mean, I've been a guy who's been huge on him. Year after year, I'm like, he's really good. He does his role. He won a championship with the Denver Nuggets last year. He was pretty solid on the Brooklyn Nets. Defensive anchor, does what he has to do. I like him. But I think, just as you mentioned perfectly, Miles Turner, a nice little pivotal part of that Pacers offense, somebody who's always kind of been in trade talks. They didn't have to trade him. They gave up picks. Picks aren't that important in the NBA. Let's just face it. They're really, really not.
Honest.
The Miami Heat have hit on so many picks, and they've been in playoff contention for how many years? The Jamie kid, he looks very, very good from UCLA. I'm blanking on his last name. Vasquez. He looks really, really good. He wasn't like an early. I mean, again, I'm not focused on that. I think that this is one of those things where the Pacers know that they can contend. They believe they can contend within the East, and they wanted to go out and get a guy who can push them over the hump. I'm not saying over the hump in terms of they're going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks or they're a super team. They're not built for that. I think that they're a team that's built very well balanced. They've got a lot of young players. Tyrese Halliburton, my guy, Benedict Mathurin.
Arizona.
They've got Miles Turner. Now they've got Pascal Siakam, who in my eyes is a big question mark. You look at what he was able to do with that championship Toronto Raptors team. Fine, he fit in like glue, was young, up-and-coming guy. I think he's fringe all-star. I mean, I'm not like sold on him. I don't think he's a player who can go out and, carry a team like a Tatum or even like a Brown level. I don't think he's like a Kyrie Irving or a Doncic or, again, I don't think that he's a player that's going to change your whole organization. But I do think if they can get him to fit in well and buy in, I like it for them. It's a rental. Maybe they re-sign him. That'd be kind of weird if they did. I don't know. I think it's a rental. I think it's a win-win for the Pacers. Nobody's expecting them to go all the way. We're expecting them to make the playoffs. I think they should. And I think that this has kind of been a low-risk, high-reward. Hey, maybe he comes in and maybe he was that missing piece. Or maybe finally this was the team he needed to go to after his championship win to prove himself. Again, I don't think he's going to change them too much. but I like this trade from the organization. They're being aggressive. They think they have a chance. They want to contend within the East. They know they have to do more than just throw out Halliburton and a bunch of guys. It's going to give out at some point when the playoffs come. The real talent comes out. That's just my take. That's when the NBA playoffs and the NBA gets really meaningful there. But again, I don't want to sound like beating up a dead horse here, but I like Siakam. I'm not. It's weird. I don't. I'll give you the results, but I mean, I kind of agree. It's weird. I don't think it puts them. 57% of you guys said it does not put them in title contention. 43% of you said it does. So it wasn't like too far off of a poll. We didn't get thousands of votes, but again, I'm torn, Ben, because I like this from an organizational standpoint. I like that they were aggressive, but again, I'm not sold on Pascal Siakam at all. But again, I go back and forth because I'm like, they're not asking him to have this huge role. They're just asking him to be the sidekick to Tyrese Halliburton. I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but I still like the Celtics' chances. I think the Pacers can make things interesting, maybe win a playoff series, depending on who they match up with. But again, I would agree. I don't think it puts them into title contention.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, like I said, disagree a little. I mean, title contention, that's the definition here. Are they going to go win the title? Or go compete for conference championship? I didn't compete for a conference championship now. So yeah, I kind of get the poll a little more. I kind of go on that no side a little more on that, but I think it puts them in contention for the East. It puts them in with sort of the bigger talents out there, like 76ers, Celtics, Bucks. Because like that foursome that Josh mentioned, I mean, Mathurin, Halliburton, Siakam, and Turner. I mean, that's a pretty good squad they got over there. You got some good role players there. I think they could, make a decent run, give one of these big teams a fit. So I like that. And as Josh mentioned, it's good to see Indiana, making some moves. They're usually sellers. So, uh, as we both mentioned before, they've been trying to get rid of Turner forever. So it's nice to see them going in, investing into this team, putting a good product out there for the fans. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of as they start talking, I kind of get swayed a little. Yeah, does it put them in contention to win a championship? No, probably not. Probably not like a champion, NBA championship. But hey, you go make a deep run. Maybe get to the championship final, conference finals, like the Hawks team did a couple of years ago, with the young Trae Young. Make a splash like that. I think the East is a little too deep right now. They get out of it, with the teams like you mentioned, Celtics, Bucks, 76ers. I think those three teams kind of solidified it in there, and you always got the Heat lurking, so you never know about that. But yeah, I think I like seeing the Pacers make this move, Josh. It's a good roster, good young team, so I'm excited for them. Excited for them, and I'm excited for what Siakam's going to do over there.
100%. And again, I know I was kind of talking in circles, but I think it's a win for the organization. They didn't give up too much. Maybe he comes out, he balls out. Now you got 2+ guys who can score for 20 points. Now you're talking, as you mentioned, and as I mentioned too, the Eastern Conference Championship would be great for them. I mean, that'd be ideal for them. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm still sold on that Celtics Bucks. I think that's what it's going to come down to. I know everybody's told me Miami Heat. Watch out for the Heat. Watch out for the Heat. It's going to be the Heat. I'm not sold on them. Knicks, too. They get their run. 76ers, I'm done with them. We own them. But again, we'll see when it gets there. We'll talk a little bit more about that trade in a couple weeks. Maybe we can come back to revisit it. But now it's time. We're going to get right into some of these matchups. In one of the first matchups this weekend, it's the Saturday game, 4:30. Big game. I think that this game is going to be closer than that spread. For sure. For sure. That's my prediction. The number 4 seed, Houston Texans, won that AFC South and beat those Browns. Traveling into Baltimore, fresh off a bye week, Lamar Jackson and his Ravens, 13-4. Shout out to Aaron's team in our Helmet Challenge. This is a 4:30 p.m. matchup, NBC. Baltimore favored by 9.5, almost 10 points. I was kind of stunned when I saw that. I thought maybe a touchdown, maybe 6.5. I liked what I saw out of the Texans. They beat up on a very, very good defense. They made them look pretty terrible. But again, Ben, all eyes on this matchup. What are you looking to see from both teams in this one?
I'm just looking to see if Texans can continue the success on the road. It was nice, get that big playoff victory. But that home crowd showed out. That was a big part in the Browns, and Browns on traveling on the road very well. And I didn't really like room for the Browns, but that was my helmet team. So I hate to see him go out. Kind of tough way to go out. Uh, but yeah, I'm just looking to see if the Texans can continue like anything. If they can continue sort of this sort of quarterback rookie sensation CJ Stroud carry this momentum what they got from the Browns win. I think it's going to get a little halted, Josh. I think this Ravens defense a little different beast at home than the Browns on the road. So I think the Texas fans get a little humbled. This Texas team get a little humbled right now. But I'm just looking to see if they can compete with the Ravens and make this a competitive game. I think they cover that spread, Josh. I think they do. But I think I think that's going to be a little closer than you think. I think the Ravens might be able to cover that spread a little more. Uh, I just think they're different beasts at home. I'm just intrigued to see what the Texans can do as just a young team going on the road. It's a different ball game when you're not at home in a comfortable environment. So that's the main thing I'm looking forward to seeing with this Texas Ravens matchup.
100%. I think that it's one of those things where which Lamar Jackson are we going to see? That's what it all comes down to. We know that this Ravens defense is pretty stingy. We know that this Houston Texans team, some people feel there's magic there. And Anthony, he's been saying this for a while now. He thinks they're going to go all the way. He thinks it's going to be Texans, 49ers. So maybe some people believe in that magic. But it's going to be a matchup where, and I'm very intrigued to see a young CJ Stroud. Let's see how he handles a tough environment, not at home, on the road, frigid temperatures. Is he going to shine under the bright lights? Then on the flip side, Lamar Jackson. He's only got that 1 or 2 playoff wins. This is the MVP of the National Football League. Let's see which Lamar Jackson comes out. I think a pretty solid Lamar Jackson's going to come out. I want to put that one out there. But again, I think it's going to come down to both the quarterbacks. We know what this Ravens defense can do. They're very, very good. I mean, they've got linebackers all over the place. They're going to be tough to beat. Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen. I mean, this team is loaded. The secondary's bought in. Odell Beckham's finally found a role here. Kind of similar to that Rams role. Like, he really looks bought in. They've got Zay Flowers, who fits Lamar Jackson like a glove. Isaiah Likely's filled in for Mark. I mean, this team, Ben, is loaded from top to bottom. They've lost running back after running back after running back, and they have not flinched. They're the best team in the National Football League with the best record at home. But let's see which team shows up, Ben. And this is where I'm going to come out here and say it. The Houston Texans will not beat the Baltimore Ravens. They're not going to do it. I'm sorry, Tony. I was trying to build up something there, but I like this story. It's a fun story. They won at home. They beat up on I don't want to be that guy, but there's only so much the defense can do. It's just something that felt nice about it. Similar to the Lions. I mean, I think the Lions are I'm just similar to the Lions with the at-home factor. CJ Stroud, better quarterback, as I said. The Joe Flacco magic, it came to an end. And I think we're going to see the young rookie quarterback make some mistakes here. He doesn't have his guy Tank Dell. They've got solid guys like Dalton Schultz. Noah Brown's been injured. But, of course, Nico Collins, the running backs. Devin Singletary's been pretty sensational. But that's a young defense, Ben. And I think a young quarterback who's going to struggle on the road. This is Lamar Jackson's time. This is his time to shine, and I think he's going to shine. I don't think that they're going to cover the spread. I'm going to say the Ravens win by 7. I think the Texans can keep it kind of competitive. I don't have them winning this one, though. I'm going to say 24-17. The Ravens get it done. Maybe see a little bit of bye-week rust here from the Ravens, but they're going to get it done. They don't cover the spread, though. I think that 9.5 is a lot of points.
Yeah, I got the Ravens winning too. I don't think they cover either. I'm going to go 28-20. A little weird score action. I think the Ravens just control this one. Lamar Jackson needs to quiet the haters, answer the critics about playoff record and just his performance in there. So I got the Ravens winning this one, but I mean this isn't going to be the last we hear from the Texans. They're going to be around for quite some time now in that AFC South. I think it's just a little a little too soon for Stroud to win on this one. But as Tony mentioned, I mean, hey, I'll back him up on this too. I mean, if Houston beats Baltimore, you got to watch out because if they can beat Baltimore, they can beat anybody. So that's kind of a crazy thought to think of going forward. If they even win, if they win that game, they're only 2 games away from the Super Bowl. So if they do, I got to back them on that. If they beat the Baltimore Ravens, anything's possible with them. But I don't. I got the Ravens 28-20.
Wow, close to that spread there. And hey, I mean, the magic
Keep it
is
close.
nice. It's a good one, but I think that magic is going to run out. We are going to move on to our next matchup here. This is an interesting one. Some people are pounding that upset alarm. Some people are. Number 7 seed Packers, who ripped Josh's heart out in Dallas, 9-8, going into Candlestick, or no, I don't know. I don't think it's Candlestick anymore. Levi Stadium. Levi Stadium. Going back to the old days there. Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The number 1 seeded Niners. I mean, the team of destiny from the NFC felt from the very first week. The 12-5 Niners. This game is Saturday at 8:15 on Fox. This should be a good one. 9.5 spread. This is an interesting one too. I think that one's kind of high. And I think there's a chance they could cover. But this is going to be a good game. I'll come out quickly here. I like what the Packers have done. Aaron Jones, I think you got to lean on Aaron Jones. You've got to really, similar to what they did to Dallas, own that time of possession. Keep Brock Purdy and all of his weapons off the field. Try and tire out that defense. That's really going to be a tough matchup here for a young Jordan Love. But again, they're playing with house money. Let's see how far that house money can take them. And on the flip side here, the Green Bay Packers were pumped to get this bye week. They've got their rest. They have to come out sharp. A lot of people have been talking about Brock Purdy coming out rusty. This might be a team where he struggles against an underrated Packers secondary and an underrated Packers defense, especially with the bye week rust. They need to come out strong. And if I was the 49ers, I'd ask for the ball first because I'm that confident. Get right down there, score, put it right to bed. This Packers team, when they have a lead, I think is 4-2 on the season, or 5. They have a pretty solid record when they score first, whether it's the opening drive or whether they score first in general. So keep an eye out for that one if you get into some weird bets for Matt LaFleur if he wins the toss, which he did against Dallas, to ask for the ball first. But it's going to be an interesting one, Ben.
Yeah, it can be interesting, much like that CJ Stroud one matchup. Can Jordan Love replicate that performance again? Much like the Ravens, I don't think he can. A little different beast, no offense to Josh's Cowboys. The 49ers defense, just a little better. I know Diggs being hurt for the Cowboys hurt him. All year. I mean, they've kind of adjusted all year, but I still think, it's kind of showcase itself in the later games and the more important games. You need a playmaker like Diggs out there just to make some plays, help on that defense. But I think the 49ers got the playmakers, tremendous linebackers. That defensive line's out of control. Solid secondary, so I think to neutralize the Packers. And I think the 49ers win this. But I mean, there's just, I don't know. You just never know with this. I just didn't think the Packers could have a performance like that against the Cowboys. Josh hit it too. I mean, Aaron Jones got to be utilized heavy. I saw him injured throughout the whole year. You can really see how good he is when he's healthy and how important he is to this offense. When he's fully healthy, just thinks he's kind of injury prone. So he's always kind of banged up throughout the whole season. But when he's fully healthy, he really could take Jordan Love in this offense to another level. So I'm excited for this Packers team. Let's go see what they can do in Levi Stadium. Shout out Josh on the way. I forgot about that too. But I don't know. I think I'll go first with this one too, Josh. Josh went first with the prediction too on this other. I'm gonna go Niners. I'm gonna go Niners. I think it's just another too tough for rookie quarterback. Not rookie quarterbacks. We don't have any first year starting for Love. Rookie year for him. Rookie year.
I get you.
We'll give it to him. We'll give it to him. I think it's just too tough of an environment to come into right now. San Fran's just rolling. As Josh mentioned, that bye was huge for them. They really want to get that bye, shore up some of those injuries, get this team fully healthy. So I got the Niners. I think they cover that spread. I think it's I'll go 31-14. It's gonna be 31-14. It's gonna be a tough one. I think it's gonna be a tough one for the Packers. Like it's come back down to earth a little. Come back down to earth. Great teammate. Got some young weapons. Great tight ends over there. Got some solid weapons on the offensive side, but I think it ends for the Packers.
I'm just laughing because it's like the participant. Yeah, you had a good
Yeah,
run. It's done.
yeah, good job, buddy. But
Yeah,
the road ends here.
Ben, I mean, I got Marianne saying it's going to be tough to win in San Francisco. I mean, I couldn't agree with her anymore. And this is a team. I don't know who said it, but you can take them and you can put them on Mars. They are not phased. They don't care who they play, where they play, when they play, what year they play in. They're dominant. And it feels almost as if like this is the year for the San Francisco 49ers to finally cash in and win something. It's been a long time. And I think it could happen this year. And I think they are going to beat the Packers this weekend. This isn't me being bitter. I'm not trying to do that whole thing. I agree with Ben. I think that I like what I've seen out of Jordan Love and this young, talented Packers offense who can just pick you apart in many different ways, from Wicks to Dobbs to Christian Watson to, I mean, even Wilson played decent. A.J. Dillon, tough young secondary. Aaron Jones, as you've mentioned, who puts up the 3 against us, and every time he plays us, he's got a hat trick in 2 games. But again, I think it comes to an end. This 49ers team is a different beast. They are to be messed with. I think after that Ravens loss, they really switched it into another gear. They know they have that number 1 seed. Similar to Ben, I think they cover that spread, and I think we're going to be hearing that horn go off a lot. I like this story for the Packers. I have the utmost respect. Jordan Love as company as well. Let's see. I mean, it's nice weather there. That could be on the Packers side there too. But again, it's just too much. It's too much for me to predict an upset here. I like what they did in Dallas. They proved a lot of people wrong, including myself. But not in San Francisco, not against this defense. They're too loaded, Ben. They're going to win 31-17. That's the score I had in my head. I think pretty close to yours. It was pretty close to yours. Yeah. They cover that spread. They put it up some good points. And I think it's going to be one of those games, and it feels like I say this all the time, but I think it's going to be one of those games where it's kind of close. They're up. They're chasing like 10 for a while, but it's just too much. The young quarterback makes some mistakes. And this defense is just, I mean, the Cowboys had 0 sacks on them last week. There's no chance that happens in San Fran. I like San Francisco 49ers in this.
Let's go San Fran. No offense to Packers fans.
We've got another match. Now, this matchup could be one of the closest on the docket for me. The number 4 seeded Tampa Bay Bucks. We laughed at that division winner. We said whoever comes out of that division, there's no chance. I mean, it was hot potato from the Saints to the Falcons to the Bucks. We didn't know who was going to win that division, and here we are in the divisional round. The Bucks are still in over the Eagles and the Cowboys, and who they beat the Eagles to get here. Sunday, 3:00 game. 6.5 point spread. The number 4 seeded Tampa Bay Bucks travel into Detroit, who the Detroit Lions won their first playoff game in who knows how long. 3:00 game on NBC. 6.5 spread. This is going to be close, Ben. This is going to be super close game. I'm going to go quick. The Tampa Bay Bucks have been super good. And I remember looking at summertime, a lot of those young corners, I think it was Carlton Davis or Jamal Dean, they went out and they said, we are a stingy defense. Do not test us. You'll find out. Something like that. And I think we kind of found out. I think the Eagles found out, and I think a lot of people found out. Marianne thinks the Bucks are going to do it again. I think that there's a real chance that they could. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Besides that Chiefs game, I think this is one of the closest games we have on this weekend. I think the Lions are another young team. They're trying to figure it out, and I think that they will. They're at home. Jared Goff is a quarterback who has proven he can win on the in the playoffs, whether it's on the road or at home. In this case, they just so happen to be at home. I think the Tampa Bay Bucks run is going to come to an end here. I don't like any upsets. I'm going safe here with this. I think the Lions get the win at home. I liked what I saw from them last week against the Rams. A lot of people had that as an upset. A lot of people had the Rams winning that game. I didn't. This is my team in the Helmet Challenge too, so let's go Detroit. got a little revenge from that faulty win against Dallas, or faulty loss against Dallas. But I like the Lions in this one, Ben. I'm gonna say. I want to say 30. I'm going to go with 30-27. Really, really close game. Jared Goff holds on at the end.
You shoot out in the dome, I could see it. Yeah, no, I got to agree. I mean, the Bucks just kind of broke the Eagles. That's going to be good for Josh and Cowboys fans to see. But yeah, I mean, I was shocked to see this Bucks team here. As Josh mentioned, thought anyone who won that division was going to be out pretty fast. I think they cover this one. I think they keep it. I mean, Baker is really impressive. I mean, it's a really good offense. Mike Evans, Godwin, Kate Arden coming into his own over there. Rashad White becoming one of the premier backs, one of the premier young backs in the league, taking the league on notice. I think they keep it close. I think they cover that spread, but I got the Lions. I think the Lions, it's just too much momentum. As I mentioned too, the Bucks wanted some of that revenge against the Eagles from that Week 3 matchup. A little more juice in that game, geared towards them. Felt a little disrespected from the Eagles, so I think they don't have that same oomph coming into this matchup. But keep it close. I love, like I said, that the offense is great, and Josh mentioned those stingy secondary players, good secondary, especially Antoine Winfield in the safety position, becoming a Pro Bowler for the first time. Great linebackers in Devin White. I think they keep it close, but I think just Detroit at home, they got the momentum from getting that first playoff win. I see it winning 26-23. Close one, close one.
Score.
I see that.
I like that score a lot.
It's going to be a great game. As you said, Josh, I mean, it's going to be one of the closest ones, I think, one of the closest ones up against this next one that we're about to get to, which is probably the most exciting one. Everyone's obviously most excited for this one, but I agree with that one. I think this game truly does have the potential to be one of the best games on the docket. Could even beat that Bills Chiefs one, depending how it goes. But I just see the Lions winning this one. I think the Lions are just team of destiny right now. Jealous of Josh that he has that helmet. Wish I had them.
I'll take it. Interesting game here. Boy, here we go. This is Sunday, 6:30. Kind of feels like an AFC Championship time for this one. The number 3 seeded Chiefs, 11-6, traveling to Buffalo this time. So the Buffalo Bills, there's history behind this one. The Buffalo Bills got their wish. They got the number 2 seed, and this time they have a very, very depleted offense traveling into Orchard. Highmark, whatever the hell it's called now. I can't keep up with these Orchard Park. Yeah, that stadium, Highmark, Olmark, whatever. To face the number 2 Buffalo Bills, 6:30 CBS. Tony Romo, Jim Nance. Buffalo 2.5 point favorites here. Ben, what do we think?
Short and sweet, Chiefs win. Chiefs win over here. I know everyone's taking the Bills. Everyone's crapping on the Chiefs. I think they come in there. Listen, I know Steelers weren't going to win that one, but there's some weaknesses exposed. In that Bills team. Bills got a little banged up in that one too. Lost a lot of defensive players. I don't know. I just, I think the Chiefs, getting a lot of disrespect. I can see them coming in here and winning this one. I know the Bills, had this sort of crazy hot streak to end it, but I don't know, something about this rivalry. You never know what happens in this rivalry between, Allen versus Mahomes. So I'm going to go Chiefs. A little surprising one. We'll go Chiefs 2017. Chiefs 2017. I'm still probably a little mad from that Steelers loss, but I don't want to root for the Bills right now. But yeah, this is going to be one of the closest games on the docket, but give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs. I just got to trust Mahomes. I got to trust Mahomes. Allen's got to do it. He's got to prove it for us. He's got to come out here and do it before I can take him. Mahomes won the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow's been to one. Jalen Hurts been to one. These guys, Josh Allen's got all the stats to prove it, and everything like that. And we'll ask that after real quick.
Save that for the end.
Yeah, we'll save that for the end. But I think, I'm going to take the proven guy. I'm going to take the proven guy. And you got to go into Buffalo. It's going to be crazy, crazy environment, probably another snowy game, but I'm taking Mahomes and the Chiefs, Josh. I'm taking them 2017.
Close one. It's and yeah, I think that Lions game will be one of the closest ones to this game. I mean, as you mentioned, this game is really what everybody's looking forward to. That's why they put it on the last one. I mean, it could be an AFC championship if you really think about it. I mean, no disrespect to the Ravens, just the history behind it. We've got Aaron in here, Ravens. We've got Raw, Bills Mafia. This is a very, very close game here. In the playoffs, Patrick Mahomes and company, they own the Bills. They do. But this year, something just feels a little different. I've been on this Bills hype train since they beat the Miami Dolphins that first time. And I know that they're not perfect, but championship teams have imperfections, and we're going to see that this weekend. The Buffalo Bills are going to punch their ticket to the AFC Championship game. I don't think that the Chiefs have enough. I think that this is the Bills' year. They're at home. It would be super typical for them to ruin this, but I don't think that they're going to. I think you've got to use James Cook. I know Jared scoffs at it, but use James Cook. Run the ball well, keep Patrick Mahomes and them off the sidelines, and challenge this Chiefs defense. I've heard about how great this Chiefs defense is, and yada, yada, yada. They are a very, very good defense, but there's only so much your defense can do. I think that this Bills defense is also getting better as we see. They're at home. At some point, push has got to shove. You almost lost to the Dolphins last year. You've got to do it, and I think that they will do it. They're going to do it in a very, very close game. I don't think it's going to be I'm going to be realistic. I don't think it's going to be as much of a classic as it was that last time with the 14 seconds and back and forth. But I'm going to say 27-21. The Buffalo Bills get it done. We will see a Josh Allen turnover, but it's going to be a little too late in the game, and the Bills they're going to take advantage of this. I think we're going to see a Patrick Mahomes turnover as well. Could be a fumble. Someone on the Chiefs is going to fumble. In the Travis Kelce one-trick pony, it's going to end, and the Swifties are going to come down. It's going to come to a crashing halt. Rome collapsed. The Chiefs are going to collapse. And I'm sorry, Swiftie Nation, but the Buffalo Bills are going to put the dagger in your heart.
Okay, Josh, I like it. Both on the Chiefs. I mean, both, sorry, but one's on the Chiefs, one's on the Bills. We needed that. We both were pretty similar throughout the whole pick, so I like how we ended differently on that one, Josh. We'll remember that. Chiefs, Bills.
Yeah. Good one. As always, I'm going to turn it over to Ben. Just want to say thank you, everybody, for hopping in. We got some NBA stuff. Bruins. I'm going to give you a quick little update before we go. Bruins are up 3-1 at the end of the first period. Good start here for our Bruins. Beating up playing well against a very favorable opponent here in the Avalanche at home. I like to see the Bruins buzzing early. Dallas, typical, same song and dance. It's the same bullshit every year. Hopefully we can finally get over that hump. I'm not doing this Mike McCarthy. I mean, I'm already aggravated we brought him back, and he's already opening his mouth with the... It's fine to say that I like the direction, but buy in. Like, everybody needs to buy in on us. It's all a drama and attention-seeking thing. I'm sick of it. But I'm going to end it with this on my note. Let's go Buffalo Bills. Let's go Buffalo. I'm rooting for them in the AFC, and quite honestly, I'm probably rooting for them to win it all. I'd like to see the Lions too, so roar. Let's go Lions. Detroit. But let's go Buffalo. Sorry, everybody who is a Swiftie.
Hey, let's go Chiefs. That a little response to Josh on that one, but echoing the thank you to everyone for tuning in. Always comments, and we got Rob and Aaron here a little later. They're getting after it. But here we go. But no, I just wanted to thank everybody too for all that, and say thanks to the Cowboys and Steelers. Good seasons from them, obviously. Ending bitter notes, but me and Josh diehard fans, so always got to thank him for those seasons. Good seasons as always. Never going to change our ways. But and on this one, Josh is back on Shell Rob.